o'clock. So today on Radiant Skin Summit, Dr. Annette Pasternak. Dr. Annette is the author of Skin Picking, The Freedom to Finally Stop. She is a holistic coach, a former research scientist, college professor, high school chemistry teacher, and yoga and brain gym instructor. I would love to talk about that brain gym thing. It sounds so interesting. For over 20 years, she struggled with compulsive skin picking, and she has been able to overcome it. And now she helps people around the world to break from its tenacious grip. She uses coaching methods with individuals and small groups to help them to stop skin picking and to address other compulsive behaviors. Dr. Annette, thank you so much for joining us. We've just emailed a little bit, but I'm already touched by your kindness. You're someone who has a big heart, and I just feel really blessed with your presence. I think we're all blessed to have you here and looking forward to hearing what you have to share with us today. I have a confession to make.
I know what you're
Even
gonna
though,
say.
yeah, I know, right? Even though I knew you were coming and we talked about it, up to yesterday, there was this one pimple and I just had to pop it.
I
And now
understand.
it's this dark spot that. So we'll just jump into it. Can you tell me a little bit more about why is it so addictive to pop pimples and to pick our skin and why is it so harmful?
Yeah, okay. Well, first, I just want to say thank you as well for inviting me. And yeah, you're also a beautiful person. I could tell that as well. Um, yeah, so why is it so addictive to pop pimples and go after things? I mean, it's so strange. Like we all have this sort of grooming instinct. I mean, it's just
Mm,
like evolutionarily, if we've got something in our skin, we need to take care of it. And then there's just this kind of reward that we get, a visual, and sometimes it feels better. It
yeah.
looks kind of exciting. It feels better after, or we just feel relief even. And even just like no matter how bad we feel after, or
Yeah.
however bad we make it look, when we're like, oh, I really shouldn't have done that again, feel terrible. Um, it doesn't matter because it's like that good feeling drives this addictive cycle. Yeah.
Mm. And
So.
so, what does it really do to our skin that we get the scabbing? Can you help us understand what happens there with the skin?
I'm really not an expert in skin, so I'm not the best person to answer that, but you just know, if your skin is red, if it's scabbing,
Yeah,
it's damaging it, right? It's not
yeah,
good. You're going to probably have marks later.
definitely.
Some of us go through our teens or 20s without getting marks. But
Mm,
later on, as we age, it like for me, it was like, I could do this behavior, where I was just squeezing healthy pores or, the
yeah,
bumps on the back of my arms. But, it wasn't, and it would be fine the next morning
yeah,
until it wasn't,
yeah.
as we get older, um, our skin doesn't react the same and we get more scars or hyperpigmentation, and so there are worse and worse consequences as we
That's a good point. Yeah, it seems like the scarring is worse. Our skin doesn't bounce back as quickly as before. And yeah, it seems to be a little stretched out, to put it really simply. Can you share with us some of the coaching tips you give to people so that they can stop this addictive behavior?
Sure. Well, it's interesting in that the more that we just physically prevent ourselves from doing it, the better. So, for example, some of the best tips, if you're popping pimples, for example, when you get one, as soon as you have one, put one of those little acne patches on. And that, if you reach up to touch it, it won't be interesting to you. So blocking ourselves can be, covering spots, or if we have a worse problem, where we're picking at healthy skin, or, just wherever on your body that you're picking at, you can like cover your fingertips, because a lot of times we're doing it in times that we don't even really need our hands completely, or we can cover them with, these are called gaming finger sleeves. These little guys, you can use your phone with them. So a lot of times people will pick when they're on the phone or watching television or reading, just like really idle activities where you don't really need your hands. So doing something like this, then when you touch your skin, it just won't give you the feedback anymore. And if you do this enough, your brain's going to kind of let go, and, it's just not going to be reinforced over and over again that, oh, it's interesting to touch my skin.
Yeah. So that's pretty simple. It's just creating a barrier. So it causes you to pause and probably think, because that's my problem. I don't think.
If the problem, if the problem is more in the mirror, like for some people, it's just exclusively in the bathroom mirror. Well, first of all, I want to say, like, if anybody has a magnifying mirror, like, give it away, throw it away right now. That is not your friend, if you're picking your skin. But even beyond that, like, what we don't see, we won't pick at if we're a kind of pick by sight person. So, for some of us, we have to do something as drastic as covering up mirrors. Or, if it's not that bad for you, you can just like dim the lighting, maybe use a smart light to have a dimmer setting, or even like a pink lighting is very flattering. You can't see imperfections or, red spots as well.
Yeah. So stop focusing on the imperfections
Yeah,
that we all have. Yeah, that's a
right.
good
Yeah.
point.
And nobody else is going to see your skin this close. We're literally looking in the mirror so close up. And so it can be reassuring also to remind yourself, like, no one will see that, leave it alone.
Yeah. So I know for me, my issue is acne, but there are other people on the call and part of our subscription that have different skin issues, right? And I know you do a lot of coaching with people that have this like almost obsessive approach to skin picking. Can you tell us a little bit more about that disorder? Because I also learned from you, like we might just be picking one or two pimples today, but it could grow into something bigger. And so it would be good to get an understanding of what could be at the other end if we don't stop now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it can get very bad potentially, take hours from your day, cause, physical harm muscularly and obviously to your skin. There's a risk of infection. I mean, it can be very dangerous potentially. And then just psychologically, it's just devastating to try over and over again to stop this and not be able to. So yeah, there's it's in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, DSM-5 of the American Psychiatric Association. And I'm not sure if I remember all the qualifications offhand for being diagnosed with it, but it's definitely like, picking your skin and trying to stop and not being able to. And then also causing yourself significant, causing yourself damage to your skin. And also, what was the third thing? Also just not, I'm kind of blanking out. Well, okay, so causing yourself damage and not being able to stop. Oh, and then, also having consequences, like, are you, you can't wear what you want because of marks, or sometimes you might cancel your plans, or just even just feel really self-conscious.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I talked in my intro about realizing the mental scarring that acne has caused me, right? In addition to the physical scarring, because with my darker skin, I get these dark spots that seem to last forever. But then mentally, exactly as you said, it affects your confidence, your self-esteem. And exactly, I remember like picking certain activities that I would engage in based on how much acne I had on the day. If you had this really big one, you'd say, okay, you put all this makeup on, which doesn't help necessarily. And then you don't want to go swimming or doing certain things because now you're afraid the makeup will wash off. And so,
Exactly.
yeah, there are the consequences that, we may not think about in the pleasure moment of, reducing the size by popping it or picking at certain things. But then the scarring is both mental and physical. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. And just understanding that greater attention is being given to that behavior, and that there are coaching methods and tips and simple things like what you shared that people can use to take control. So Dr. Pasternak has shared a free gift with us, and I will put it in the chat box. So you can eventually, not right now, but eventually download the free gift, and I'll pass over to her so she can talk about the gift.
Okay. Yeah, so this free gift on my website, this includes a PDF and also an audio, if you prefer, about it's called Why You Pick Your Skin and How to Finally Stop. So that's something that yeah, if you're interested, I mean, that goes into more depth for sure than what I talked about today. So there's that, and it also comes with a video. So I explain in the audio or in the PDF how, we often do this when we're really anxious and we're doing it to calm down, or on the other side of it, if we're kind of spacey or whatever, we're doing it as well to get to a calm, focused state. So I also include a video with a really great exercise to bring you into that calm focus. So it actually takes down the urge to pick. If you feel like you have these big urges, you just do this exercise for 2 minutes and it will calm you down.
Oh, that's an interesting point. Yeah, because we've been talking with other experts, and they were saying like some of the things that cause acne or those behaviors is stress,
Right.
right? That vicious
Yeah.
cycle. So
So this would be
learning.
helpful even for people who aren't picking, but if you have skin issues, yeah, for
How
sure.
to calm down.
Mhm.
Could I put you on the spot and ask you to probably give us a little demonstration of what that sort of calming activity would be? Uh,
It might be a little long to show here, but
okay.
I can, I mean, yeah, let's do a variation.
Okay, that's
So
exciting.
it is going to be a breathing exercise. So
Mhm.
I guess let's do right now. Let's have you check in first of all, because we always want to see what the effect of anything we're trying is, right? So notice right now, this is obviously for everyone, check in right now and notice, where are you as far as like anxiety? Maybe give it a number on a scale of 1 to 10. What are you feeling right now? And if you are a skin picker, maybe you're fidgety, maybe your hands just aren't stopping to move, stopping moving. So give that a number, like notice how fidgety are you right now? How much are your hands moving? If itching is an issue for you, notice how itchy you are right now. Okay. And then, yeah, if you have any muscle tension too, that's something good to notice. So we're going to do some breaths. I'll count you through some breaths. Let's push our bellies all the way in to exhale completely. We want to start with a complete exhale, and let's just take a deep inhale together. And exhale slowly and completely. And inhale. And exhale. Deep inhale. Exhale completely. Let's just do one more deep inhale. And exhale slowly and completely. And come back to observing. So this was not the exact exercise that I teach. The one I teach in the free gift is better. However, let's have you check in right now and just see what was the effect of just a few deep breaths. I think we might have done 4. So if you were feeling anxious or picky before, has that changed any? Do you feel a little calmer, a little more focused even? I didn't ask about that, I realize, but sometimes we feel like scattered and then we feel more focused after a few deep breaths. Itching also goes down. So yeah, I mean, I do a much like there's a counted breath with a hold, which is very powerful and stuff like that I'm teaching. So I actually don't know how well this worked right now. If anyone wants to give feedback. I'm sorry, Nadia, I can't hear you at all. I think your mic's off.
It's great to be aware of the tactic, and I totally believe in the power of the cleansing breath. I know just breathing helped me through a very difficult time in my life. And so just even knowing that it could help with some of the addictive behavior when I do feel like picking or something, just to pause and to take those cleansing breaths, because it's part of prevention. And so, guys, as we're talking about clearing our skin and having radiant skin for 2022, I think this is a really important tip for us to think about just our overall stress level and incorporating tactics to bring down our stress and just to optimize our health so that our skin can actually show what's happening inside of us. So, Dr. Pasternak, do you have any other methods within your coaching that deal with uh, how much water you take or your diet or any of these things? Do any of these things impact those behaviors that you would like to talk about?
Yes, yeah. So several people have mentioned drinking water helps them. As far as food, I mean, that a diet really helps, like a good quality diet helps. Some ingredients are particularly causing picking in a lot of people. I'll give you the big 3. Sugar,
Okay.
like processed added sugar,
Yeah.
is the worst. And that happens to be the worst for acne also.
Yeah.
Caffeine, actually, for a lot of people, it just causes too much anxiety and agitation for some of us. People who tend to pick, or who pick to an excessive degree, tend to be really sensitive. And we're doing it kind of to calm our nervous system. And so caffeine is usually not our friend. And then sometimes alcohol can be a real bad one, just kind of like eliminating our inhibition ability to think like maybe I shouldn't be doing this, touching my
Yeah.
face. And so, and there's probably other effects of the alcohol, but that, yeah, those 3 tend to be real problematic foods. Definitely, yeah, all lifestyle stuff, like, pretty much everyone who is a skin picker notices more picking if they don't get a good night's sleep.
Sleep.
Exercise is important too. So I really think like food, sleep, exercise, and stress reduction, including like breathing techniques and other things, are really important.
So good. Thank you. Yeah. And it's interesting that we're entering into the season where all these things
I
usually
know.
increase the sugar, all the cakes and the alcohol, having
Yeah, I
wine
feel
at
bad to,
dinner.
put this burden on everyone. Well, it could be a burden or it could be a blessing, depending how you
Yeah.
look at it, to
It's
have the
about being aware.
knowledge.
Yeah, to have knowledge is power, right? We don't want to be ignorant, so we know what contributes to our behavior, because sometimes half of it is not understanding why am I doing this, and I know it's going to scar me. I'm gonna have to deal with more time for my skin to recover. So it's just having that foresight to control those behaviors. Um, so let's see. Yeah, any questions from our viewers here? Please feel free to ask your questions. This is not all about me. I'm learning a lot. Yeah, it was a good reminder about the breathing. I'm going to incorporate that some more. Do you want to tell us about anything important that you're working on right now on this journey that you have taken? I know that you mentioned in your bio that you yourself have recovered from the compulsive behavior of skin picking. Is that a life journey, or like once we incorporate those tactics, we'll be free forever? Give us an idea.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it is a little bit of a life journey. It's one of those things like, if I start eating real bad, drinking a lot of caffeine, being stressed, and having like all my skin hanging out, like in the summer, I have noticed sometimes, I'll start doing a little bit again, not to a compulsive degree, but yeah, I have to still kind of be careful. Um, what else did you ask? I'm sorry. I feel like I forgot part of that question.
Oh, no, that's okay. I think you were telling us about how it's a
Oh,
lifestyle
yeah. And
practice.
you asked what else do I have coming up that I'm
Yeah.
excited about or something. Yeah. Well, first I do want to mention, it's probably not on my website, but I do have a second book that did come out in 2021, called Skin Picking: The Freedom We Found, which is like a lot incorporating, my clients and others' stories of, recovery and what they found helpful. So I know a lot of people know about my first book, but not that one. So I just want to mention that. And then as far as what kind of stuff I'm working on now, um, many of my clients and my audience and everything really are concerned about scarring and what to do after, right? And for so many years, I've been focused on like, the most important thing is to stop the picking first, which I still think is true, obviously, not causing new scars. But I am getting more interested in that, especially on my YouTube channel. And so I do want to I'm going to do some stuff about, scar treatments and that kind of thing coming up on my YouTube, which, you can find with my name, Annette Pasternak. That's
Oh, great. Yes,
right.
and I'll put all those links in the recording.
Yeah.
So Lizzie has a question. Do you think that meditating will help with picking?
Yes.
I know you spoke about breathing, but what about
Yes,
meditation? Yes.
it will. I am a meditator for 13 years, and I did the bulk of my skin picking recovery probably about 12 years ago, and it absolutely helps. And I have clients like, just last night I was talking to one, who I hadn't seen for a while, but she was saying how much meditation has helped her in this past year. And so, yeah, I really do think it helps for sure. It's, because meditation is a skill that slows down your mind and allows you to observe what's going on in your body, in your mind, and not respond to it compulsively. So that is, yeah, keep meditating or start meditating, Lizzie, or I can't remember who asked that.
Yeah. Is that part of the gym training that you was
No,
instructed?
actually, it's not part of Brain Gym, but I do use still some Brain Gym with my skin picking clients. especially that's more movements that help us learn.
Oh, good.
So yeah, there are some movements that help us get into a calm, focused state. So, for some people, it's like they can't even think of sitting still to meditate or to breathe. That's just
Yeah.
too difficult. Um, so doing some movements that have the overall effect of calming you down can really be helpful in those cases.
Yeah, that's great to have the options. Yeah, I like action. So I find I start to meditate and then I start thinking, oh, all the things I have to do. Then I get up from meditating and
Right.
start to do. So yeah, so that'll be interesting to have options. And another part of the question, could picking be driven by cravings? For instance, if we feel the need for sugar, could that then, sort of motivate the picking
Yeah.
behavior?
It can, because, we pick when we're under discomfort. We want to
Right.
escape this discomfort. And so, yeah, if you're having a craving, not necessarily for picking, but even for something else, yeah, it's possible that you just kind of go to the picking to deal with that craving or escape that
Yeah.
discomfort.
It's a bit of the sort of distracted behavior and yeah,
Mhm.
unconsciously
Yeah.
while you think of all the things you need. Yeah. Okay, that's good stuff. So, yeah, so I think like for me, the main takeaway is really to focus on reducing my stress, finding ways to be calm, and the very handy tips you gave us about either covering up the area that you want to pick, whether it's a pimple or your hands, your feet, wherever you want to pick. If we could just sort of get it out of sight, get it out of mind. So that would be good. Some people, there's a question in here about using toothpaste. I don't know if you know about that. Maybe to cover up zits or any other areas.
Yeah. My mother used to always tell me to do that. Put toothpaste on it. I don't know. I think there are probably better products out there, but you can try it. It shouldn't hurt.
Yeah. So someone has a question here about the supplement, NAC.
Mm, yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, sure. Let me look at the specific question recommended. Yes. Yeah, definitely. So there is a study showing NAC to be beneficial for roughly half the people who are picking, and it's helped a lot of my clients as well. Um, I Yeah, I have a video on it also if you search YouTube. And Your psychiatrist recommended up to 1,200 milligrams twice a day, right? Yeah, so that's about what they used in the research. So yeah, I would ramp up to that just to make sure you're not getting any side effects. Occasionally people get, stomach upset and things like that. But Yeah, and I just want to say I'm just educating you. I'm not that kind of doctor.
Yeah,
To
no
yeah, give
prescriptions,
you
no
medical
prescriptions
advice.
here. Yeah. So for the rest of us, could you help us understand what NAC stands for, what
Oh,
it is,
sorry,
and
sorry.
what it
Yes,
does?
it's N-acetylcysteine. But
Okay.
if you search, NAC somewhere, NAC supplement, you will find the right one. So, but it has been, well, to my knowledge, is still not back up on Amazon. It was banned from Amazon. And yeah, if you're interested, look up my video. I talk about why. It's a long
Oh,
story.
okay.
Yes. So
Well,
picking could be a mental, sorry, I'm just seeing
yeah,
you
great.
want me to answer? Picking can be considered a mental health disorder. So it is classified as one in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. Now, not everybody's picking probably reaches up to that point. You would want to go see a mental health therapist or a psychologist to be diagnosed
Wow.
and treated.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's interesting how we start these things and they grow. So, um, yeah, our obsessive behaviors. So I think our lesson today is be gentle with ourselves. Try to put measures in place to distract ourselves from those compulsive behaviors. And so I'm excited about your tips. I hope everybody clicks on the link for their free gift, and so that they can learn more about how to stop skin picking and just allow our skin the breathing space to heal and be better. So thanks everyone for joining us today. You've been listening to Radiant Skin Summit. And if you or your friends haven't yet, please register at iamlucent.ca so that you can log in live to our interviews all of next week. We have an amazing lineup for you. We'll be talking about hormones. We'll be talking about the best products for 2021. So it's a very diverse list because we want to help you in every area to get your clear, radiant skin. Thanks, Dr. Pasternak, and see
Thank
you soon,
you.
everyone. Bye.